So space is apparently not just silent, but also completely devoid of any sort of smell. Astronauts who have been to space, however, claim it does have its own distinct aroma, and when they return home, they can even be greeted by their own personal stench of space. This might sound strange, but it's actually a fairly common occurrence. Many astronauts report that as soon as they remove their helmets after coming back to Earth, they smell either burnt steak, hot metal, or even welding fumes. It's quite the experience. But what causes this? Is there something to be concerned about here? Do we need to update our ideas about how space works? And what do these smells tell us about being in space? Let's find out. Sometimes space can apparently smell like a freshly grilled steak. Many astronauts have claimed that space smells like a freshly seared steak. Of course, this isn't possible since no one is grilling anything up in the vacuum of space. The best example comes from NASA astronaut Harrison Schmitt, who was the last person to walk on the moon during the Apollo 17 mission in 1972. When asked about what space smelled like, Schmitt replied, "I think the best description is hot metal. It's hard to describe the smell. It's a little like a sizzling steak." But why might this be the case? Well, the explanation lies with some of the equipment used by the astronauts themselves. Space travel, especially for long durations, requires a lot of preparation, and the spacesuits worn by astronauts are extremely complex pieces of technology filled with various materials. These include neoprene, nylon, rayon, fiberglass, Kevlar, and many more. All of these materials are designed to serve a purpose in protecting the wearer from the harsh environment of space. However, these materials aren't exactly natural, and when heated or worn over an extended period, they can start to break down into volatile organic compounds. These compounds then become infused into the suit's air supply, and when breathed in by the wearer, they trigger olfactory receptors in the nose, creating a smell. This process is called off-gassing and is a well-known phenomenon associated with plastics and other synthetic materials. It's possible that this same process could cause the materials used in spacesuits to emit compounds that are perceived as the smell of a seared steak. This could happen due to both the materials used and the various systems within the suit itself, such as the life support system, which may contain components that can cause off-gassing. Furthermore, the heating and cooling of the suit during re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere could also contribute to the release of these odor molecules. After an astronaut removes their helmet, they're then met with the smell of the off-gassed materials that have been trapped inside their suit. This explains why the smell of seared meat is often mentioned. However, the smell of a seared steak isn't the only thing astronauts have reported. Some have claimed that space smells like hot metal. Upon returning to Earth, some astronauts have described the scent of hot metal. This observation aligns with the explanation of off-gassing. Many metals, particularly when heated or exposed to the extreme temperatures of space, can undergo oxidation. This process forms metal oxides, some of which can release volatile compounds that contribute to the smell of burning metal. The alloys used in spacecraft components, such as engines or reaction control systems, may also release odor molecules when exposed to high temperatures during launch and re-entry. Additionally, the intense heat generated during these phases can cause metals to react with other materials, leading to the formation of volatile organic compounds that further contribute to the metallic odor. This is supported by experiences like that of NASA astronaut Jerry Lininger, who stated, "In space, it smelled like a hot metal, like you were going next to a blacksmith shop. So it seems that the smell of hot metal is likely due to the breakdown of materials under the extreme conditions of space travel." Some astronauts, however, claim that the smell of space reminds them of welding. This observation can be attributed to the presence of ozone in the atmosphere of Earth's lower orbit. Ozone has a distinctive pungent odor similar to chlorine bleach, which is often described as metallic and can persist in indoor or poorly ventilated spaces. During normal atmospheric conditions, ozone is rapidly dispersed and doesn't accumulate to detectable levels. However, when present in higher concentrations, as is the case in Earth's lower orbit, it can produce a noticeable welding-like smell. This phenomenon occurs because ozone molecules are highly reactive, and when inhaled, they can stimulate olfactory receptors, leading to the perception of the characteristic welding aroma. In fact, this ozone-induced smell has been well documented in various reports and studies. For example, pilots and flight attendants who regularly work at high altitudes where ozone concentrations are higher are known to develop a tolerance to the smell. Moreover, astronauts aboard the International Space Station, ISS, have confirmed the presence of this odor, providing further evidence of its occurrence in space. It's interesting to note that while ozone is considered a pollutant at ground level, it plays a crucial role in the Earth's stratosphere as it absorbs harmful ultraviolet radiation from the sun. The welding-like smell of ozone in space highlights the stark contrast between the conditions on Earth and those beyond our planet. While we strive to maintain air quality on Earth, the smell serves as a reminder of the unique challenges and adaptations required for human survival in the harsh environment of space. But wait, there's more. Another possible reason for this welding-like smell is the process of electrolysis. Electrolysis can occur in the water cooling loops of the spacesuit's life support system when water is split into its constituent elements, hydrogen and oxygen. This can happen due to the electrical current and the presence of electrolytes in the water, leading to the formation of oxygen ions. These ions can react with other compounds present in the suit, such as organic materials, to form volatile organic compounds. When inhaled, these compounds can trigger olfactory receptors, creating the perception of a welding-like smell. Furthermore, the humid environment within the spacesuit during operation can facilitate the transport of odor molecules through the breathing mask and into the astronaut's nasal passages. This is supported by the fact that the smell is often more pronounced during periods of physical activity when the breathing rate is higher. Once back on Earth, the interaction between the air in the suit and the surrounding environment can also contribute to the development of odors. As the suit is depressurized and the astronauts breathe in the outside air, the odor molecules present in the suit's atmosphere can be expelled and detected by the olfactory receptors. To mitigate these odors, astronauts undergo rigorous training, including wearing their suits for extended periods before missions to allow their bodies to adapt to the environment. Spacesuits are also designed with materials that minimize off-gassing and odor retention. Despite these efforts, the welding-like smell of space remains a fascinating and somewhat perplexing phenomenon. And that's not all. Sometimes space can even smell like burnt gunpowder. This can be attributed to the combustion of rocket fuel, particularly when it contains nitrogen-based compounds such as hydrazine. The burning of these fuels produces nitrogen oxides, which can contribute to the smell of burnt gunpowder. Additionally, the exhaust from rocket engines often contains unburnt fuel particulates and other organic compounds that can also contribute to the overall odor. Furthermore, the high concentration of carbon dioxide in the confined space of a spacecraft's interior can exacerbate the perception of the burnt gunpowder smell. This is because carbon dioxide reacts with moisture in the nasal passages to form carbonic acid, which stimulates pain receptors and can enhance the detection of pungent odors such as those produced by rocket exhaust. In summary, space can sometimes smell like a burnt gunpowder due to the combustion of rocket fuel, the exhaust from rocket engines, and the high concentration of carbon dioxide in spacecraft interiors. These factors can all contribute to the perception of this distinct odor. If you've ever wondered what space smells like, it's clear from these explanations that it's not just empty and silent, but also full of various aromas. Whether it's the smell of a seared steak due to off-gassing in spacesuits, the welding fumes caused by ozone, or the burnt gunpowder from rocket fuel, space has its own distinct bouquet. These smells arise from the complex interactions between the materials used in spacecraft, the astronauts' bodies, and the harsh environment of space. So when astronauts return to Earth and remove their helmets, they're not just greeted by the familiar air of our planet, but also by the lingering smells of their journey through the cosmos. These smells serve as a reminder of the incredible journey these brave explorers undertake and the challenges they face in exploring the vast expanse of space. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more updates on all things space exploration. We've got plenty more videos coming your way.